Well, she's still pretty hot outside. It's not too bad, to be honest. But this is what I'm up to. It's only about probably the low 80s. It's really nice right now, though it is standard attire weather, which is wife beater and jeans. But got this lawnmower taken apart. Not really all taken apart, just the top off because I'm panning it and just making it look better. I took the pressure washer to this one and that one over there. Got the pressure washer going. It's a Honda. They never really stop going, to be honest. But cleaned this thing up quite a bit. Got a lot of the oil, residual oil that was there on the back. Got all that removed. This looks like oil, but it's not. It's just flaked paint. I'm still leaning towards the fact that this is a replacement motor. And I really believe that this thing is just an old unit. I'm still going to lube all the points on this thing, mainly all the parts that move. And I'm probably going to lube the reel as well. Though what sucks about lubing this stuff is that, you know, you're going through grass and dirt and everything, and it just attracts all that to it. But at least it'll get it to quiet down a little bit and stop squeaking. This thing I'm pretty sure does need to be lubed because it likes to hold itself up there. I don't know if it's supposed to do that or not, but I'm going to go ahead and try and lube this thing. I've got these two motors, which I brought over here. This one, as you guys saw in the last video I did, it does not even have the rod cap for the bottom of the connecting rod. So this is basically a useless motor. I might just part this thing out. I really don't know yet. The centrifugal clutch that's in here, I don't even know if that's worth anything or not, but you know, I'm probably not going to use it. This thing I'm going to try and get going at the very least just to see what's wrong with it. Then we have the old Escort. This thing is I did it a little smart this time. See, I replaced the oil pan, or the transmission oil pan, and put a new gasket on it. And then I used RTV on both sides, basically, of the gasket. So I'm just letting it cure right now. I put the RTV on, put the pan back up, and just let it sit there for a little while with the bolts, you know, not even tightened all the way, just so I let it cure for about an hour. And then just about 10 minutes ago, I just went and tightened them all up, so they're all nice and tight. So I'm going to let it cure a little bit more before I start attacking that thing and putting the transmission fluid back into it. Then here we have the Honda body parts. Well, not even the body parts, just that trim piece that's on the top. As you can see, I just used some Rust-Oleum, bright red. Really brings it back. I can't wait to see how this turns out, but we'll have to let it dry a little bit before I start messing with that. This thing, all I have left to do on this before I sell it is obviously clean it again and pull the gas tank out and strain all the gas, because I'm going to reuse that gas. There's no reason why I shouldn't, but I'm going to clean this tank out really well, and then I'm going to sell this thing. All put back together, it's probably worth maybe about 300 bucks. I want to say 400, but you know, it's kind of funny though, because this lawnmower in the condition that it's in, it might only be worth like 100 bucks in some other part of the United States, but here these things go for a lot of money. I mean, I've seen ones in worse shape than this go for like $200 or $300 easy. And it's just one of those things, I guess. That thing, the Ranger, I'm going to start dismantling this thing here as soon as it starts cooling down a little bit more. I'd start doing it right now if it weren't for the heat and if it weren't for the black widows that I know that are probably in this thing. Because the first thing I'm going to do is drop the transmission. Well, I don't know if it'll be the first thing I do. I know I'm going to start just removing all the extraneous body parts. You know, like the hood that's all messed up, the fender, the bumper. I'm just going to start going, basically going to start dicking this thing pretty damn hard. And I'm going to keep a lot of the parts. Like, I'm going to keep the box, I'm going to keep the tailgate. I'm going to keep the transmission and the driveline. I might even keep the rear end. I'm not too sure about that, but might be something I want to keep. The fuel pump, I kept the fuel pump, and I kept a few other things that that we just took off just to, you know, do what we did to it. But I'm going to keep the rear bumper as well. But this thing's just taking up space. My dad wants it moved. In all honesty, this should have been dealt with last fall, but just didn't get around to it for whatever reason. But anyways, so that's kind of what we're looking at with this. There's, as I told you guys before in the last videos on this thing, there's no saving it. The frame is bent and tweaked really badly. So it's not, as much as I hate to say it, it's not worth doing anything with. I don't even know the state of the motor. Well, I remember when I pulled the dipstick out of it, there wasn't even any oil in it, so I don't know where all the oil even went. The Plasti Dip paint job on this thing is actually held together pretty damn good. I Plasti Dip that grill. I don't remember if I told you guys about that, but it seems to have held together pretty good. So I'm happy with that. So now I'm just going to unload these motors, wait for this thing to cure some more, and then I'll be dumping all that transmission fluid back into it. We'll check the level and go from there. Well, so this thing's finished. It's not leaking anything. That's all residual stuff from earlier, back when I was doing the other work on it. But I just went and pressure washed it. You guys will see a update video probably right after this one on this. I'm not really going to talk about it much right now. But other than me cleaning out a couple other things in the interior, it's pretty much ready to go. So hopefully my old boss wants it. It'll make it a really easy sell. And then there's this thing, which looks a lot better. This thing will have its own standalone video. I don't think I have anything left to do on it. I think it's pretty much ready to go. So that's all we really have planned for today, boys. I need to really get on that thing, but I've got a whole list of things I got to do, and I'm going to check that before I start diving into some of these smaller projects like this. But getting this thing done and sold is probably the main project right now. The Ranger, actually, it doesn't need a new water pump, but I have a new water pump to put in it that I'm going to put in it. And at the same time, I'm going to do the timing chain gasket, because I suspect that it was leaking a little bit about a year ago, but I haven't noticed anything now. But I am going to go ahead and change it, seeing as how I did buy the gasket, which was like a $20 or $30 gasket from Ford, as it's made of neoprene and not any of that cork stuff. But anywho, I think that'll be about it. This mower is pretty much ready to go. I would love to keep this thing, but I just don't need it. You know, as much as I'd love to have a whole collection of lawnmowers, not that I don't already. I mean, collection of lawnmowers that I don't want to sell. They take up space and they're worth money, so one of those is good, one of those is bad, but you know, getting rid of it nullifies both. So I'm gonna sell this one. I still haven't decided 100% on this one. I would love to keep it, but I don't really need it. And besides, I mean, this is a great mower and all, but this one's perfect for out here. It's a lot bigger. But this one, it'll be sad to see it go, but you know, I do like that one. But I think that'll be about it. Just gotta do some more rearranging some stuff around, and hopefully I'll get you guys some more videos here pretty soon. Y'all stay classy.